My neighbor kept leaving notes on my door, but he's been dead for months. I first noticed the note on a Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where you're already late, running on cold coffee and 3 hours of sleep. The paper was wedged perfectly between my door and the frame, folded neatly, almost politely. Please keep the noise down at night. People are trying to rest. Apt. 3B. I stared at it for a second, confused. I live alone. I don't throw parties. I don't even play music loud enough for someone to complain. Still, I shrugged it off. Maybe I dropped something at night. Maybe the pipes were loud. Whatever. I crumpled it into my pocket and left for work. By Thursday, another note appeared. It's getting worse. Stop dragging things across the floor at 2 a.m. 3B. That was weirder. I hadn't moved anything at night. Hell, I hadn't been awake at 2 a.m. any night that week. But again, I brushed it off, because the alternative was thinking too hard about it, and I didn't have the mental capacity for that. The third note arrived on Saturday morning, and this time I actually felt annoyed. This is the last warning. Don't make me come over. I stood there staring at the handwriting. Sharp, clean, very intentional. Almost like someone practiced the letters over and over. I marched straight to apartment 3B. I knocked, hard. No answer. I knocked again. Still nothing. At this point, I was frustrated enough to go downstairs to the leasing office. The building manager, Leon, looked up from his screen when I walked in. Hey, quick question. The guy in 3B, is he home? He's been leaving notes on my door. Leon's expression shifted. Not confused, not annoyed, something else, something unreadable. There's no one in 3B, he said. What? That unit's been empty since, well, for a few months now. I blinked. No, look, he's been leaving notes, 3 of them, complaining about noise. Leon's jaw tightened in a weird way, the kind where someone knows more than they want to say. Whoever left those notes, he said slowly, it wasn't the tenant. Why not? He sighed. Because the last guy in 3B passed away, about 6 months ago. My stomach dropped. Slow, heavy, cold. I wanted to argue, tell him he was wrong, that someone definitely lived there, that someone was definitely angry about noise that wasn't even happening. Instead, all I managed was a quiet, "Oh." Leon looked at me like he wanted to add something, but didn't. And honestly, I didn't want to hear it. I went back upstairs feeling like someone had poured ice water down my spine. That night, I did something I'd never done before. I locked my bedroom door. Not because I believed in ghosts, I didn't, but because something was off, and humans were scarier than anything else. At around 3:11 a.m., I woke up to a soft shuffling sound just outside my apartment door. Light, subtle, paper brushing against wood. My heart hammered. I grabbed the nearest thing I could use as a weapon, my lamp, and crept to the peephole. No one was there, but there was something new, another note tucked neatly in the door frame. I opened the door as fast as I could. The hallway was empty. The note read, "You need to stop. This isn't funny." I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I bought a cheap security camera and mounted it in the hallway facing my door. If someone was messing with me, I'd get proof. Or so I thought. The following night, another note appeared. "Why are you ignoring me?" I rushed to my laptop and opened the camera footage. I watched the timestamp, 2:58 a.m. My door was in full view. No one approached, no shadows, no footsteps, no movement, nothing. Just an empty hallway. But then I noticed something worse. At 3 a.m., my door opened slightly, just an inch, quietly, smoothly, from the inside. I froze. The realization hit me like a truck. The notes weren't being left by someone outside my apartment. They were being left by someone inside. I replayed the footage, over and over. The door didn't swing open fully, just enough for a hand to slip out, but no hand appeared. I wanted to believe it was the camera glitching, that the angle was wrong, that I was imagining it. But deep down, I knew. Something was very wrong with me. The next night, I set my phone to record audio. I put it right next to the apartment door and went to bed. I woke up around 6 a.m. to a single notification. Recording saved, 4 hours. With shaking hands, I hit play. For the first hour, silence. Second hour, more silence. Then at 3:04 a.m., the sound of my bedroom door unlocking, my bare feet shuffling across the floor, a soft tearing of paper, a pencil scratching, then my own voice, whispering, "Stop making noise." I dropped the phone. Adrenaline surged so hard I felt nauseous. My breathing got loud, panicked, my vision tunneled. For a moment I thought I might pass out. My knees felt like water, my chest tight, like all the air had been sucked out of the room. I pressed my palms hard against my eyes, trying to stop the shaking, but it didn't help. None of it helped. Because the truth was already clawing its way into my brain. I wasn't safe in my own apartment. I wasn't safe in my own body. I needed answers, real ones, not just the surface-level sleepwalking explanation. Something deeper was happening, something I didn't understand. I forced myself to breathe and sat down at my desk. The audio kept replaying in my head, my footsteps, my voice whispering like a stranger wearing my skin. I opened my laptop and searched for therapists, sleep disorder specialists, hell, even paranormal investigators at one point. Anything that might explain what was happening. But before I could make a call, I heard a knock on my door. Not soft, not hesitant. 3 sharp, deliberate knocks. I froze. I didn't move an inch, didn't even breathe. Then another 3 knocks, louder this time. I opened the peephole, expecting to see an empty hallway again. But this time, someone was there. Leon, the building manager. He looked different, sweaty, nervous, like he sprinted up the stairs. I opened the door just a crack. He didn't wait. "Can I come in?" he whispered urgently. His tone terrified me more than the knocks. I let him inside. He closed the door behind him and leaned against it, catching his breath. "What's going on?" I asked. "You okay?" He shook his head. No, I'm not okay. And after what I found, you won't be either." He held something out. A folder. Thick. Old. I recognized the building logo on the corner. "Maintenance records," he said. "Maintenance for what?" He hesitated. "Your apartment." Why?" Leon swallowed hard. "I need you to listen to me very carefully, and I need you not to freak out." My skin crawled. He opened the folder. Inside were reports going back years, different tenants' names, different complaints. But one thing was the same. Each tenant had filed noise complaints, every single one. Scratching, dragging sounds, whispers at night, papers rustling. More chilling than all of it? Each report mentioned notes being left at their doors. Notes that looked almost exactly like the ones I'd been getting. My stomach twisted. This doesn't make sense," I muttered. "People lived here before me. How could I be the one leaving them notes?" "That's the thing," Leon said. "Those tenants moved out, and the notes stopped." He pointed at me. "Until you moved in." A cold realization settled in my spine. "It's the apartment," I whispered. "At first I thought so too," he said. "But then I found something else." He pulled out a final page, a photo. A man standing in front of this very apartment door. The caption read, "Tenant eviction, disturbances and unsafe behavior." My throat closed, because I recognized the man. It was the neighbor I terrorized years ago, the one from apartment 2C. Except this photo wasn't taken at my old building. It was taken here, in my current hallway. "What the hell is this?" I whispered. Leon's face was pale. "He lived here," he said, "in this apartment, before you." I felt like the floor dropped out from under me. My old neighbor, the one I screamed at, the one I threatened, the one I drove away. He lived here next, before he moved again, and eventually died. "It's you," Leon said quietly. "You're the common factor. Wherever you go, the same pattern follows. Notes, noise complaints, disturbances." "No!" I shook my head violently. "No, that's impossible. I didn't even know he moved here." "But your subconscious did." I stared at him. "What?" Leon took a step closer. "You didn't sleepwalk because of the notes. The notes happened because of the sleepwalking. This place triggered something inside you, some unresolved guilt you've been running from." I backed into the wall. No, no, you don't understand. I didn't kill anyone. I didn't touch him. That doesn't mean you didn't haunt him, Leon said softly. A horrible, nauseating silence filled the room. Then Leon added 3 words that made my blood freeze. He complained, too. Everything inside me twisted. My head pounded. My vision blurred. My knees buckled. Because suddenly I remembered. The banging on his door years ago. My fists slamming until he cried out. The threats, the yelling, the way he flinched when he saw me. I remembered everything, not all at once, but like a dam breaking. I slid down the wall, clutching my head. Leon knelt beside me. People carry ghosts, he whispered. Sometimes they just aren't dead ones. I tried to breathe, but it came out sharp and broken. That's when I noticed something else. Another note. Not on my door this time, but slipped under my couch where it must have fallen earlier. I reached for it with trembling hands. The handwriting was mine, of course, but shakier, uneven, almost desperate. 3 words. Check the closet. My heart stopped. Leon looked at me confused. What does it say? I didn't answer. I just stood up and walked to my bedroom. Every step felt like walking toward a firing squad. The closet door was shut. I hadn't opened it in days. My hand shook as I reached for the handle. Are you sure? Leon started, but I pulled it open before he finished. Inside, on the floor, was a stack of notes. Hundreds, all written by me. Different handwriting styles, different moods, different levels of pressure. Some angry, some terrified, some begging. I knelt down and grabbed the top one. You're doing it again. The next. I told you to stop. Then, you scared him. Another. You don't remember. My breathing got shallow. Then I found the worst one. A note written in frantic, jagged strokes like someone fighting their own hand. He never made noise. You did. My vision blurred. I stood up, shaking violently. Leon, I whispered, I think I've been doing this for years. Longer than I realized. He didn't respond, because he was staring behind me. Slowly, I turned. On my wall, scratched faintly into the paint, were letters. Tall, thin, repeated lines like someone wrote the same word over and over in the dark. I leaned in. It wasn't a word. It was an apartment number. 3B, 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 3B. 3B, scratched dozens of times. My vision spun, my ears rang, my hands went cold. That's when the final twist hit me. I hadn't been reenacting trauma, I'd been trying to confess. Not to my neighbor, not to Leon, but to myself. All this time the notes weren't messages, they were warnings, from the part of me that remembered, to the part of me that refused to. I wasn't being haunted. I was haunting myself. Before I could say a word, the lights flickered. My body went cold. Leon stepped back. What the? But I wasn't looking at him. I was looking past him. At my door, where a new note had appeared. Impossible. Silent. Perfectly folded. I walked to it slowly. My fingers barely worked as I unfolded it. One final line. The first note I had ever written years ago, but now rewritten for me. Please stop. You're scaring us. I looked up. Leon was backing away, his eyes wide, terrified. Not of the note, of me. And for the first time, I understood why.